We're going to do the brakes on this C-Class behind us. Now I'm going to split it into two videos. I'm going to do the front and the rear separately. This is for the rear brakes. If you want to see the front brakes, then click on the link at the end of this video. To put the brakes into service mode, we put the key on the ignition, we turn it to the first position. We want to have the screen here, which is the one with the miles. Now to select the menu, you press the answer the call button and you press OK. So answer the call and OK. And then you get this menu here. You might get this screen here. So this is where you got the workshop. Press OK on the steering wheel, or you might actually come up with this screen straight away, depending on how it's been used before. Now to navigate through the screen, you've got your OK and your arrows. So move down to brake pad replacement by tapping that twice. Select OK. And it says now on the screen, move to fitting position with OK, cancel with back. So we want to move it to the fitting position. So press OK. And now it's moving to that position where you can fit the brakes. Fitting position reached. So that's where you leave it. As with the front brakes, you look for your jacking point, which is here, and you put them on axle stands as well. So these discs could be used again, but we're going to change them. So we've got a couple of caps on, one here and one there. Just pull those off. If you're having trouble, just get a screwdriver in the end, and that'll do. Here's the sensor on the back. So let's start getting into that. See what that is in a second. So 7mm. Don't know why they're always 7mm in it, in all the tool sets you get. You never get a 7mm Allen or hex key or whatever you want to call it. Just remove the spring. And just wiggle the caliper out. So if you look, the inside one has the sensor on, and the outside one, and this just looks like it's pretty much done actually. Get to that in a second. So we're going to move this bracket here, so two bolts on the inside. So like the front discs, it's a T30. So on an Audi you can actually take this off back, removing the caliper there, the caliper slider. On this, looks like you've got to remove this. So 18mm. That's tight. So we've got two different pads in the rear. So I'm using Brembo brakes. So I've got these from Euro Car Parts. I'll put a link in the description. You've got the inside pad which has the sensor. That has a spring on it. And you have the outside pad which doesn't have the sensor hole that you've got here. And it doesn't have a spring on it. So I'm just going to clean this up a bit with a wire brush. On the sensor here, you have a little spring, so just lift that up a bit and then you can get the sensor out. So into the car. Now I'm not sure, I'm just going to turn the ignition on. So on Volkswagens you need the ignition on, otherwise you damage the caliper as you push it back. Not sure if these are the same, so we'll just put that ignition on just to make sure. So these pins here, they'll fit in these holes. And then this plate goes on like that. So just wind in, keep the tension on, wind in, keep the tension on, wind in. Just keep that tension on as it just winds, piston back in.
So this was how far I could actually wind back the piston before I got resistance from the motor. I don't know whether this was to do with how the brakes were changed last time, but it wouldn't allow me to push it back all the way. So what you need to do is you need to remove the motor. So you've got those 2 bolts there. Now that motor is underneath that plastic cover there. So you undo those 2 bolts and then you're left with seeing the caliper like you can see here. So that's the caliper with the motor removed. So we just put the tool on and continue to wind back in the way that I was showing earlier. So without having the motor on, it is actually very easy. I presume you could actually use a torque socket on the other way if you didn't have a wind back tool. But just wind that back until the piston goes flush.
So that's the caliper back how I would have expected it to be. So just go and fit that motor back on. So tightened up the 2 bolts for the motor. Now I'm going to put this sort of cover back on. I've got some Brembo discs, so we'll just take those out. The ventilated rear discs. Line them up with the fitting screw. So they come with a new fitting screw as well. Just do those up. Put on the carrier. There's the carrier, just got to go on the back there. Just going to give it a little bit more of a brush up first. Nice and tight. That's nice and tight there. Outside pad, inside pad. So you've got like a clip there, you've got the pin goes in there, it just clips in place. Now you could use the old sensors and pull them out of the old one, but these were worn away too much, so I can't do that. Inside pad. There we go, that's much better. So a sensor in, don't forget the caps. Back in here, as there should be. And we've got to fit the clip. there's the spring back in place. And then don't forget to pump your brakes before you disconnect the service mode and before you operate the handbrake.
So now you've fitted your brakes, you come back into the car, you've got fitting position reached, exit with OK. So what you want to do is you want to come in, press OK, and now it's applying the brakes against your wheel. So now fitting position has been exited, confirm with OK, so you confirm again and you go back to that screen, and then obviously back to come out of the menu.